Jay, this was a pretty interesting week. To start off, I was doing some laundry, and I realized that
We're going to start off with a laundry story?
a lot of my underwear has holes in it. The not bandages. What do you call them? Just the banding in general is
The elastic. It's called elastic.
The banding. It's getting loose and saggy. I wear boxer briefs. I don't know about you, but
I also wear boxer briefs.
oh, good. Well, it was uncomfortable, so I went online and started shopping, doing some online browsing for underwear, and I was like, this is kind of expensive. Okay, this is pretty expensive.
Well, you get what you pay for.
That's true. But then comes along MeUndies, Jay.
I've heard of MeUndies.
Yes.
Wait, are they the company that uses Modal?
Yes. In fact, MeUndies.
Modal?
MeUndies are simply the softest, most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. Once you try them, you want to wear.
He can't read it. You won't want to wear anything else. Are you crazy?
Now I know how Stugatz feels.
Modal.
Now I know how Stugatz feels.
I'm just so happy that we're the first people to actually pronounce Modal correctly on this network.
Unless you're naked or in your swimsuit, you won't want to wear anything else. For every other second of your life, there's MeUndies. Every pair of MeUndies is sustainably sourced and made from micro,
Modal.
a fabric that's 3 times softer than cotton. That's insane.
Can I tell you a story about Modal real quick? Have you ever touched Modal?
No,
You've gone shopping with me before. I have a picture of you shopping with me.
I don't think you've shown me Modal.
When I have shopped with you or with anybody else in the past, I do this thing where I go around touching things because textiles.
Man, you are screaming.
I'm a big fan of textiles.
You like the textiles?
I do. Modal, one of my favorite textiles. Top 10. Top 5.
So basically what you're saying is everyone should want to go check out MeUndies.
I think if you don't, you're crazy. Mainly because we're telling you, but also the rest of the internet is talking about MeUndies.
And MeUndies will change everything. Because MeUndies comes in all kinds of colors and patterns. They release a new limited edition pattern each month that always sells out. Right now they're doing rainbow confetti for the theme is Celebrate. If you try MeUndies today, go get the Celebrate pattern before they're all gone. Go to MeUndies.com/after because After Schmoe sent you and you want to support our show. If you use MeUndies.com/after, you will save 20% off your first pair.
If you don't get MeUndies, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Get 20% off your first pair plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/after right now. That's MeUndies.com/after. MeUndies.com/after. Another reason why. By the way, I wasn't joking. I really need underwear, so I'm glad they came along.
Oh, it's great.
Another reason why this week has been interesting and a lot of fun. I have had the pleasure of podcasting with Chris Hartwell and Miss Movies this week.
But neither of them are on SK Plus.
Sure they are. When they're on the Schmoes Know Show.
Oh, that's true.
Miss Movies was just on Don't Be a Beardo.
That's true. I've never been on Don't Be a Beardo.
Yeah, me neither. But I just want to say, both of those two people, sweethearts. They're just great. I had a great time. Today specifically, I talked to Miss Movies. We talked about her movie bucket list, which that episode, all of these episodes, I did one with Ellis, Hartwell, Miss Movies. They did give me their movie bucket list, and eventually I will release those on Sight and Sound. But regardless, getting to know those people and podcast with them, awesome. Great experiences all around. Are you jealous?
Well, look, no, I'm not, but
That's a lie.
we all know that Christian's telling you to say this because you actually don't listen to anything on SK Plus besides the own content that you make.
Christian has no idea that I probably even podcasted with Ellis.
I am a massive fan of Don't Be a Beardo. I like the Wanger Show. In fact, I like them so much that I misspoke their name on pre-schmo. I called them the Wankers Show. Hashtag the Wankers Show. I'm also a big fan of Outlaw Nation with John Roca talking politics. You don't get that from other SK Plus shows. But you know what the best and most underrated show on all of SK Plus is?
JTE Movie Thinks.
Sight and Sound Weekly. And we have to talk about it because nobody else will. It's the only place where you're going to hear people talk about music, movies, and
That's
television.
not true. No, Copster gave us a shout out on Wanger's show. And I was very thankful for that.
That's true. Thank you, Copster.
I made sure to thank him because I greatly appreciate that.
Awesome. Cool. Go check out SK Plus stuff. Go on iTunes, rate and review and comment. Why, you ask? It doesn't matter. Just go do it. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. You got anything else?
No, the theme song's playing right now.
Oh, okay.
Or was. Now it's playing.
Okay.
Welcome to After Schmoe, your favorite after show for the Schmoes Know Show. My name is Ryan Snelling.
My name is Jaye Williams, and Daddy Harloff, Uncle Mark, they're not home, so guess what I'm doing? I'm texting right now on the show.
There was almost no reason to watch the live show. This was the week for me to skip, so I'm glad that I skipped.
Okay.
Just kidding, I didn't skip.
Starting
guys.
off negative. Here we go.
I'm just joking. My God. Jeez, can't make a joke anymore. They had a good reason to be out, but we'll get to all that in just a minute here. Where was I going? Oh yeah, we're not doing video.
We're not doing video.
So
I asked you. I gave you the option.
You probably picked up on that very quickly. We're not doing video this week because we're doing it at my house. I got tired of driving to Jay's house, and so we're taking a break.
You also got new carpets, very soft on my
yeah.
tootsies.
It's like snow here. You can make a snow angel on this carpet. It's so fresh, so fresh. That's another thing too. I was avoiding doing any kind of podcasting in my house because we had all that work done, but now it's over. So now I don't have any excuse, well, except for the excuse that I don't want to drive to your house. So yeah, we'll do video maybe next week. When I have put gas in my car.
There you go.
And made it out there.
Ryan Snelling, future Uber driver. Look for him in your area
soon. You think so?
soon.
Should I be an Uber driver?
I think so. An Uber?
Yeah.
An Uber driver.
Bon Uber? It's your favorite band, isn't it? Favorite artist?
What about Lyft? You want to be a Lyft driver?
Yeah, I could be a Lyft driver.
Who is the most current, not in a former life, who is the most likely schmo to moonlight as an Uber driver? I think it's Finstock. What would you do if Finstock picked you up in an Uber?
Well, we would see him on the news. That's for sure. Something is bound to happen if Finstock
What if Conor McGregor wins this fight against Floyd Mayweather? Christian flies me over. You have to pay for yourself with all your Uber earnings.
Yeah.
And we land and we get an Uber. They come to pick us up, and it's Finstock, and he has no idea who we are, obviously, because why would he?
I think I would go along with it, and I would just make his experience crazy. Like, he would make our experience crazier, and I would just reciprocate.
Yeah.
I would just be nuts. I want to be... And then...
How many Uber drivers own Yeezys?
I guess it depends on the timeline. Like, if I would love to be a ridiculous Uber customer for him if he's our driver, not explain to him who we are, and then like the very next night we go on the live show and he's there and he sees the guys that were in his car. I would love that.
That would be
obviously
hilarious.
we just done some tremendous fabricating.
What if that happened? What if he came through the door and saw us, realized that he knew us, so even though he's retired he went and put on the mask so that we wouldn't recognize him when he was sitting there talking to us.
So insanely stupid. How was pre-schmoe last night?
It was good. Didn't you watch some of it?
I watched most of it. I wanted to know how you felt about it, though.
It was really, really good. I thought it went great. I mowed my yard right before. My hair was crazy. Somebody pointed out my Superman curl. I think it was... Who was it? Was it
Chris Woodburn?
No, it wasn't Chris. I don't remember who pointed it out. Graham. I think it was Graham. And
Graham Butler.
I think he asked if it was on purpose. It's not. I just have curly hair.
Is it on purpose?
The humidity.
I'm gonna go with the Superman girl.
Humidity
today.
does it in for me. But yeah, we talked about a lot of good stuff. We talked about some news. We actually talked about some Collider stuff. I predicted some things.
Yeah, let's talk about Collider by not talking about Collider. I think people expect us to talk about it. I've been
do they?
People have sent me messages asking me if I'm going to talk about it. Basically, what my take is. essentially, just to be brief, I want Campia to do whatever he feels is necessary. We've sort of been down this path before, so as far as how it affects our schmoes, I think that they will be able to not even right the ship, because I don't even know if it needs to be righted. They will maintain the ship. I mean, this has happened before, and you talked about it yourself. Ellis killed it this week. I mean,
absolutely.
Everyone there is perfectly capable of maintaining the quality of shows. So we've been here before, so I'm not at all worried, and I just hope Campia finds what he's searching for, and that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to be successful in whatever endeavor he goes into. It looks like it's going to be his own personal YouTube channel, and people are going to be able to see him talk about movies in other places. I think, not that I think anything was directly related to it, but we did get to see a lot of the Schmoes Know family involved in Collider this week. Obviously, with somebody absent, it sort of opened up a spot. A lot of John Roca on Movie Talk this week. Mark hosted a few iterations of the show. Got to see Ken reading the news, absolutely crushing the news the way that we know him doing the news. He wasn't just reading
Collider news.
Yeah, he wasn't just reading off news. He was doing the news, and he killed it, man. Killed it for both of them that I saw.
All the way back when I used to do this show with Brian Davids, I saw one instance of Collider News that Ken Knapsack hosted, and I very specifically said on that show, that should just be Ken's vehicle.
Yes.
I said it back then. You agree, I agree. Christian agrees.
Yeah.
Didn't Christian say that was
he
going to be a
posted on
thing?
Facebook and pretty much said, hey, this is going to be kind of the new vibe of Collider News. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I did. I enjoyed it a lot. It was so entertaining. I mean, that's something that, me personally, I didn't really pay that much attention to in the past, just because if you watch Movie Talk, you kind of know what the news is going to be. But now that Ken sort of bring this new vibe and new flavor, I think not only does it open people up to Collider that might be new, but it also provides like a little bit more of entertainment as well.
I was going to say, it's not just a stuck-up version of that so many other channels do.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about it, too, is that news that broke with Lord and Miller. I mean, I feel like that came out pretty late here. I mean, it was probably like 6 or 7 p.m. at their time when they pushed that out. Yep. So that's another advantage that they have. They don't have to wait until the next day to talk about that kind of news. So, that very strong move for sure.
Right. And
so I think that's what's interesting, too. It's like, how is Collider going to change now that Campy is not there?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
And I think we're only going to go upwards. I mean, I just can't. I think that, again, that the tank there is so creative that I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited to see what's going on.
I mean,
over there.
it would probably be a different picture, a different landscape if maybe Christian still wasn't on the show. It would make me a little bit apprehensive, thinking like, does that mean more weight is going to have to be on Christian and Mark's shoulders? Is the live show going to be a little bit more in the background? But obviously that's not the case. I mean, Christian back on the show, things moving in the right direction as they have been. But I just, I'm obviously sad to see somebody leave the group, but I think I'm positive about it. I'm really positive about it.
Definitely. I want to talk about Roca for a second, because you mentioned how
Jan Roca?
Yeah. He was great on Movie Talk this week. I hope that something comes, like the fact that he was more frequent this week, I hope that that's a sign that he's going to be on more, or maybe even full time.
Right.
I think that would be really exciting. I would love to see him finally nail down like that full time gig, because he's been grinding so hard and hustling in the past few years. He said something really interesting on Movie Talk, and I wish someone was in the room, because I did like a Jim Halpert, like look to the camera, like, what does this mean kind of thing. He was on Movie Talk, and he just happened to throw out there that he had watched Green Room recently, and that we would find out the reason why later. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
And then it never got brought up again. So,
Green Room, great movie.
Yes, we have a history with that film. I thought that was such a weird statement, especially because he didn't even mention it again later in the show. So for some reason, something is coming to where he's going to explain why he's watching Green Room. And
you think it has to do with the changes in Collider, maybe some additional content sort of vibe?
I don't know if it's about Collider, but he's been posting. He did ask us to stay tuned.
Yeah.
To Top 10. He's tweeted about it, him and Nost. I don't know.
They had the reunion on Outlaw Nation, and I believe, was Nost on there again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nost has been on twice.
A couple times, yeah.
So
a rekindling of the friendship.
I think there's going to be an announcement.
Has he been visiting California Pizza Kitchen more frequently lately?
Maybe.
Can we get somebody down in Brian Davids? Go ahead and shoot us some pictures that you've been. Be the man on the scoop. Break the scoop. Be the Umberto of the situation and break the scoop. Let us know if you've seen Roca in California Pizza Kitchen. Around, I don't know, where does Nost work? Which one? Should we know that? Please don't stalk him.
Someone's gonna message us and say it's not actually California Pizza Kitchen. It's a blah blah blah. I don't think he runs that chain. But anyway,
I was just running the joke that Finstock makes. It's fine. It's all shtick.
I think it's coming. That's all I'm saying. It's a very weird thing to tweet out. I don't know. That's all I got.
What happened
with the stuff around SK?
What happened to Cobster's beard?
I don't know, man.
Not a fan.
You don't care for it?
No. I like the beard. I'm not a fan of the clean shaven.
I wonder if he regrets it.
I think he. You know what? I don't think he does. He had a lot more energy, a lot more verve to him.
What does that have to do with the beard? Cobster has a beard. Like, that's the Cobster that I think of. That's the Cobster I go to bed thinking about.
Yeah, but he could have easily. Okay, so backstory. Not really backstory, but just a tale.
A backstory on Cobster and his beard.
I'm going to tell you a tale. I rarely shave my beard completely off. If I do, it's because I fucked it up.
Same.
Somehow. He could have easily been embarrassed about showing up on camera because he was in, I think it was Vegas. I was following along with his Instagram story in Vegas over the weekend. Still had the beard. Comes on the show, doesn't have the beard. He could have been embarrassed by it, but he had that same sort of that strength that.
What are you implying? I don't know what you're getting at.
Nothing. That it just.
Oh, I thought you were going like maybe he got drunk in Vegas, messed it up.
No.
And then had to cut it all off. I thought that's where you were going with
I'm just saying, like, I don't think it was some I don't think it was some accident or a premeditated thing. Maybe it was just something he woke up one morning and was like, I'm going to shave this off. But it seemed like he held his confidence with it. If that was me, I would have been like, oh, this is the first time a lot of people are going to be seeing me without a beard in a long time. I'm a little bit worried. People are going to make fun of me.
Now that we've officially bottomed out the conversation, let's get into Schmoes Know Show number 288. Something about Transformers. The mommy and daddy were gone. Of course, they went to go see Apes, which Ellis had a very happy emoji that he tweeted out. So I can't wait to see that.
Ace?
Ace? Ellis?
Ellis.
Did I say Ace? I meant Ellis. So Ken took the reins. JTE was there. Macuga, Roxy. And that was it. There was nobody on the couch at all. So it was a much smaller crew. And I liked it a lot.
You liked it?
Yeah.
You liked the small... You were apprehensive. We were texting back and forth about how you didn't have much to say about the show after like the hour-long mark.
Oh, I hardly have any notes. I mean, I can talk about it, but I hardly have any notes, and I was baffled that you said you had a ton of notes.
I have maybe more notes than I've ever written for this show. And
like for the segment we're about to do, or
yes,
in general?
In fact, the first note didn't even, which surprises me, the first note didn't even come until about the 45-minute mark. Not that the first 45 minutes were bad. It was just... You could see that they were sort of getting a running start.
Yeah, people know that when it's hard to come up with notes and things to say when it's so discussion based.
I have an MVP for the show, a standout, like want to celebrate it. One of the most standout performances I've seen in a long time on this show.
I guarantee I know who you're going to pick. But do you have a history lesson for us?
So let's talk about my notes of the week. How about that?
Yes, let's get to Jay's stream of consciousness notes. Take it away.
These are your Schmoes Know Live Show stream of consciousness notes brought to you by SightSoundPod.com. I'm listening this week. I'm not watching, even though I did see Cobster without a beard. No beard for Cobster? I don't know how I feel about this. I called Ken Boston with Macuga. I don't even know what that note means. I don't know why.
Keep going.
Okay.
You're missing out on this.
Love
point
the
of
Han
segment.
Solo discussion. Yes, RB3 preach about Lord Glover, a.k.a. Don Gambino. Macuga going off and ranting about Haley Steinfeld. Could not agree more. People dump so much weight on one or two breakout performances to name the next big thing. Everyone should chill the hell out. I got you, Macuga. Roxy is crushing it. Macuga is crushing it. Taking Brett away, Macuga is flourishing. No Brett, no Chris Hartwell. Let the Ace love train begin. Never go full bay. TV has never been spoken about more on this show. Strangest quote of the night. Hey, cancer is in the house. What? What? The Transformers voices are cracking me up. Macuga, I love you. Westworld sucks ass. Ken and I sharing love for Rebecca Ferguson, one of my top screen crushes, also along with Baby Streep. Ken and I might be kindred spirits. I've seen both Shop Girl and Rushmore, although I do think Shop Girl is a bit overrated. And that is your Schmoes Know Live Show, stream of consciousness notes, brought to you by SightSoundPod.com.
So Roxy is the standout.
Wrong.
What? Don't say it's Macuga.
Macuga was fire on this show.
Macuga was just there.
Macuga was flourishing without Brett to weigh him down.
I mean, he definitely had.
I'm just joking. You know I love you, Brett.
He definitely had his time to shine, but it was like he was mostly there to have a problem with everyone else. And I'm not saying there were parts that I didn't agree with him.
You need that.
I agreed with him, but he was just yelling the whole time.
He was challenging. He was channeling his inner Christian on the show, kind of.
Sure.
And let me just say this too. He even surprised himself. In the middle of the show, he said, well, actually, I'm having a pretty good time tonight. You take away the damn phone with this Penguins game, and he flourishes.
I thought you were definitely going to say that Roxy was the standout.
No, Roxy was great. And look, let me just say this, not throwing shade at anybody. We talked about it multiple times about...
And we're going to do it again.
We've talked about it before, how that other chair can be sometimes a little strange. I think just now, like in the last month or so, people like Emma are just now coming into their own, their comfort level. You have people like Joelle still sort of finding her way. And I mean, Roxy sort of brought that strong, not just strong female mentality, but that strong mentality just in general, to have that argumentative spirit to in a room full of so many people being loud and yelling at each other across the table. She stood her ground and she came in there fiery.
And that's not even what I remember about Roxy. Like, I don't think it was like overly argumentative. Like I said, I think if anybody was argumentative,
not at all.
It was Macuga. But like,
she wasn't afraid to speak her mind though.
But the thing about Roxy is, I don't know if she would have had the same. That's not true. She's been on previously, but going with the pattern of what that fourth chair is, I don't know if it would be completely different, but it probably would have been different having had Christian and Mark there. Well, you know what? Maybe it's the couch. Maybe if the focus is always on the four at the table, maybe you never have this problem. So I'm not even going to go into that. The thing that benefited Roxy's appearance is that she was at the table with the people that she works with the most under that roof. Because not only does she work every single week with JTE at Screen Junkies, but she worked very long, like a long time with Ken, and her and Macuga have been friends for years.
Right.
So, and again, I think they said that she was on back in phase 5, but it's the fact that she's consistently been with these people for so long and gotten to know them more, whereas I think Emma Fyfe is just now coming around, and so is Joelle. Not that they haven't met these people before, but as far as just working in the comfort levels, that's what Roxy had going for it, and that's what the show had going for it, is that it was a table full of people, that fourth chair, that fourth chair had worked with for so
They were
long.
comfortable with one another.
Definitely. So that's what it had going for it. So she was great. I mean, I'm going to say that she's great anyway because I have a crush on her. But
Right. Yeah, look, we've also talked a lot, and it's been sort of a running joke of Ken being a little bit more quiet on the show over the course of the past few weeks. But man, when he comes out to host, he crushes it, man. I mean, he absolutely... And the funny thing about Ken, I think he has a lot more in common with Ellis's hosting style than he does with Christian's. Christian obviously is... He just brings a completely different show to the
Christian
table.
is an agitator. He tries to pick at people.
Yeah.
Like to incite drama. And I don't think Ken and Ellis have that.
Yeah, he sort of bucks against the structure, even though when it comes up against those breaks, he's just as quickly to say, "Okay, Macuga, wrap up your TV segment." Nobody gives a shit about Remy Malek and Mr. Robot. Oh, what's that? Mr. Robot, creator, working on a Star Wars show? Tell me everything you know.
You know what I would have loved to have heard from Christian, though, if he was on the live show? Maybe we would have gotten some insight as to how he feels about the revelation we've got on Don't Be a Beardo.
Oh, okay.
That you were gonna that you told me about.
Absolutely.
What was that revelation?
Oh, my God.
This might be the first time Christian finds out about it.
So
let's write him out.
So let me take everyone for a walk down memory lane. A few weeks ago, I had to make a public apology, not to everyone, but mainly to Christian Harloff, about something that was said on a YouTube video that we did, Schmoe Down Reaction. There was no misconstruing how Beardo feels about the Schmoe Down. I believe his quote on his episode with Miss Movies was I don't really pay attention to the storylines. I don't really follow it that closely. So chew on that, Beardo.
You know what I think all of that comes down to?
What?
Like Christian might acknowledge it next week on the live show, or he may never do it. But it all goes back to the problem that I brought up last week, is that you and I are in this pocket. So maybe I'm totally wrong, and Christian will let me know if I am. But I think the way that Christian reacts to us saying something like that might be different than if Copster says it.
I agree.
Is that possible?
Maybe because, and I don't mean this in any weird way, maybe because we're more embedded with the fans, I think. We are fans.
I wasn't even going to go there. I meant like as far as just like knowing who we are.
Yeah, he doesn't know us.
He
don't know me.
He knows we like to make fun of him, but that's it. Why are we talking about Christian? He wasn't even on the fucking show.
You don't know me.
Let's.
Can we talk about...
I
have to say something about RB3. What was your take when he brought up Donald Glover directing the Han Solo movie? Fuck off. Because,
me?
Yes, you. Because here's the thing. Not in a million years that would obviously never happen. But for all those naysayers out there, for everybody in that room, that would be the most awesome Star Wars movie ever.
I'm not saying he.
So how dare you?
I'm saying it's not.
You should be ashamed of
yourself. That's not an educated statement.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
That's not an educated statement.
You should be supporting this. You should be letting Donald Glover flourish.
I love
you
Donald
want Ron
Glover.
Howard? You want Happy Days?
Yeah. Actually, no. Ron Howard's not my first guess.
Ron Howard, what have you done in the rap spectrum lately?
Did you get it all out?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Ron Howard is a much better educated guess than Donald Glover. I don't understand it at all.
It's not even really an educated guess. I don't think he was saying, like, well, Donald Glover is obviously going to be directing this movie. I think he was just saying, wouldn't it be dope as hell if Donald Glover directed a Star Wars movie?
Maybe one day, but not this one. Not under the circumstance.
Right.
I mean, that movie's in hellfire right now.
That's true.
And you don't want one of the actors who happens to have some directorial experience have an actor take on directing the fucking thing? No way.
It would also be one of the most David Lynchian Star Wars movies to ever come out.
Anyway, we'll probably talk about all of this on Sight and Sound Weekly. But
this is the first time we got any RB3 really on the show in a while. He's sort of been in the background bringing people beer. Happy birthday, RB3, belated.
Yeah. Well, I told him. Did you tweet at him happy birthday?
Well, no.
I'm glad Macuga and Ace finally met. At the beginning of the show, Macuga acted like he had never met Ace before. He was like, Ace brings in the gallon of water? Yeah, we know. And I don't know. It was such a weird interaction between those two. I was like, what the hell? But there was a lot of Ace, and I did enjoy that. Even though he said some goofy things every now and then, but overall,
I liked his take on Transformers. I appreciated it.
Roxy called him out though. The more he was going on about hating Transformers when he had only seen the first two, so that's the only thing I kind of, again, looked at the camera like, wait a minute, what? And then Roxy was able to address it.
I get that, but that's something that sort of permeates across the entire movie discussion landscape, is that people's opinions of movies, they just sort of get embedded in people's minds, and they pass judgment on things without, really, you get echoes of opinions.
Yeah.
Like that. JTE, the only movie expert on the table, on the main table. I mean, we all know Ken is sort of like loosey-goosey with the movies that he sees, and that's fine. I'm sort of like that too. Macuga's a TV guy. I wasn't super familiar with Roxy, but apparently she's more embedded in the TV landscape as well.
Yeah.
How strange is it to think that JT was like the official movie voice at the table? Brought a lot of really good information. Misspoke a few times, but that's sort of,
it was actually one of the I don't know, it stood next to some of their best film discussions.
He did great. JT actually did really, really great.
No, he did. I think it says a lot about Ken too. That Ken was able to just kind of like, he was still able to carry that conversation, even though I don't know. He probably said it, but I don't remember how many Transformers. He did say he enjoyed the first one. I think he said he enjoyed the first one and then he was out afterwards. But yeah, all around that was really great. Did you notice the graphic when Ace started talking that popped up? I
didn't notice it mainly because I listened to this episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. Well, the title bar that's usually below the screen, the long part where the names pop up, that was different, and it said Ace Cabrera and his Twitter handle, and it said underneath the subtitle was like, he's a really big fan of anime. I thought that was funny.
Let me just say this too about listening versus watching. I actually think that's important, and I implore you to actually try it one week as opposed to watching, because there's a large population of people that just listen and don't watch.
Yeah.
I found the experience to be completely different. I don't know. I felt like I was paying more attention to the show a little bit. Like
okay.
Not that I don't do this. I do it a lot. I vocally laugh out loud, but there were things that I laughed out loud about that I thought to myself, I might not laugh out loud at this if I was watching it. And it was a very strange experience to sort of have been doing this for a little while now, to actually like prepare for this show just by listening to it.
That's a good point, because when you decide for yourself to sit down and actually watch it live, I guess you can, but I don't know if people are always pausing it to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm guilty of kind of leaving the room sometimes, especially when I know that they're just discussing a movie. So that's a good point. Listening to it requires you to sort of pay more attention to it. I get that.
Well, I'm also like investing a very strange time in my day to watching the show live. I mean, I have to get up really early in the morning for work, and I mean, now it's earlier, but even going to bed at 11 is sort of pushing it for me. So just look, I will say this. I used to require myself to watch it live because they were having trouble turning the episode around and putting it up. It used to go up like sort of in the afternoon.
You mean the podcast version?
The podcast version.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And now it's going up like in the morning, and I appreciate that a lot. Like that's really helping me out. I don't know if it's helping anybody else out, but
way to go, Cody. Let's shout out Cody.
Is it Cody's job?
Cody uploads our podcast.
Does he really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I thought it was RB3.
He sent me. He uploads our video podcast.
Can we get Cody on the podcast, because he never gets to talk, except on Wangers.
Yeah, we could have Cody on.
He's always got Cobster shutting him down.
We've been trying to have Brett on forever. Should we ask Brett to be on before we ask Cody to be on?
Yeah, but let's not frame it like that, because it makes it sound like he's the one having the issues. But we kind of keep forgetting, don't we?
Kinda. It's a little bit of both. It's 50-50.
You should have taken advantage of it in your time off. That's
true. Anyway, yeah, we can ask Cody to be on. I feel like we don't get enough of him. JTE, they should convince JTE to run the board, and then Cody could come out there. But I don't think they're ever going to ask JTE to do that. Maybe if they like set up some kind of bet, like I don't know.
We had
the McGregor Mayweather bet. If JTE loses that bet, then he has to run the board for a Schmoes Know Show, and then Cody can come out and do it.
We had a handful of people respond very positively to the idea of a backwards day, to where the typical main table crew has to go back in the production side of things, the Wanger section, and the people in the Wanger show actually have to sit at the table and run the table.
I don't know how Christian would handle that. I think Christian...
That's why I think it would be so fun.
He would be miserable. I think we would get a lot of... the face he's making in his current Twitter profile picture, I think he'd be making that face. If you look... I sent you a screenshot of this. Everyone... If you haven't noticed, if you go to Christian's Twitter profile right this second and screenshot his profile picture and banner, it looks like he's having a midlife crisis. Not only did he post a sad, older picture of himself, but in his banner, it's an older picture of him at Comic-Con. I'm like, Christian, what's wrong with you?
I used that headshot of emo Christian in my vlog video that I did not that long ago. For a second, I thought it was maybe a response to me. No, it was not.
No,
he didn't see that vlog.
We messaged a little bit back and forth, and I'm like, I don't like DMing you while you have this picture. I don't like looking at it. It's so depressing.
It's just awkward. It's like he's creeping on you. It's like he's trying to slide in them DMs, trying to get a little piece of that Ryan Snelling booty.
It's true. He does slide into my DMs to tell me that the mummy sucks. So talk to me about Roxy and Macuga's fight over Haley Steinfeld, because I see both points, but my opinion, and I think it's just because I've seen more Haley Steinfeld movies than you, I'm kind of on Roxy's side. I think Haley Steinfeld is too good for a Transformers movie.
Have you seen what's it called? Edge of 13? What's that movie called?
Edge of 17?
Edge of 17?
Yeah, it's really good.
Have you seen
Begin Again? Yes. Have I seen...
Is that a good movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have I seen True Grit? Yes, I have.
Okay, that's 3.
Yeah.
Some other ones.
Great.
Some other ones in there. There's a bunch of other movies in there.
Other than Pitch Perfect 2.
I don't like the idea of people like, she's the hot property. Like when you're talking about young female actresses, like she's getting named to do everything a lot. And I'm just
she's talented.
Yeah, but so is Elijah Wood. So was Shia LaBeouf.
I agree, but people look down on him before doing those movies, and up until now, Transformers movies have involved Megan Fox and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, and I don't even remember the last movie she was in.
Right,
and then you're putting her in that category, even though she's going to be the lead. It's just kind of depressing.
I think it's just a general commentary, just like let's pump the brakes before building someone up because the first time she has like a stinker, and it's not an if, it's a win, because it's just going to happen, that, we don't have all of this expectation just crumbling down. Like, do you remember, this is not a discussion for this show, but do you remember when Leonardo DiCaprio had that great career when he was younger and then sort of took some time off and then came back? I mean, he was crushing it. There was a period of time between when he was doing movies like Titanic and when he was doing movies like The Departed. And I think that time sort of helped him sort of step away from things and not be this top build property, so to speak.
I'm not sure that that's true, because
It's totally true.
Gangs of New York is somewhere in there. Body of Lies is somewhere in there.
Absolutely, but there was still a significant time even between those movies. 100%. But the point to go back to the show itself, the funny thing about Macuga is he actually confused me because he started off with that, but then he came back around to like kind of go back on his point. There was some strange double talk going on there. I think he confused himself.
I welcome his opinion. I love that Macuga is someone, like one of the only two people that enjoys a movie like Let's Be Cops. Actually, his enthusiasm for Let's Be Cops makes me want to watch it even more.
Right.
So I'll give him kudos for that. But something I've said to you off air in the past is like, when I look on the Collider mailbag thumbnails and see that Macuga is co-hosting, I don't need to watch a mailbag when Macuga's doing it. Like, that's just honestly, like, that's not.
Isn't that the Ace approach to Transformers though? Don't you misspend it?
But I've watched Macuga on mailbag.
I think he's entertaining.
I know he's entertaining.
Is he going to provide the Chris Hartwell deep dive? No, but like,
that's just my preference. I prefer someone who has a more involved take in the movie sphere.
Why?
But,
so he can say the exact same thing that everybody else says?
No, that's not true.
Sometimes that happens though. I mean, sometimes it's just regurgitated information. Like, that's why I appreciate people like Macuga, even though he isn't as knowledgeable about it. Like, for instance, I mean, he didn't really have much of a take, and this is to your point, he didn't really have much of a take on the whole Alien franchise thing, but he feels similar to that I do. Like, they've had 2 decent movies, and the rest have kind of been iffy. Actually, the back and forth between him and Ace, and I think it was RB3 about if Prometheus was good or not, was interesting.
Well, I think the difference is that something like mailbag, those are all like hypothetical questions for the most part. So
right. That do require some knowledge to elaborate on.
But it's not. So usually if you're getting those hypothetical questions, then their responses aren't going to be regurgitated because we haven't really heard that instance before. Unless the question is obvious, like, what do you think about Marvel's villain problem? Then I might hear some regurgitation if it's anybody else, but because they're all hypothetical, I don't think that's really the case when it comes to mailbag.
To your point, I think, to your point, to illustrate the difference, you have somebody like Macuga who might not have as much like in-depth deep dive movie knowledge, and so he doesn't have as much room to expand, but then you do the exact same thing for somebody like Ken who doesn't have as much movie knowledge, but he kind of stands his own. I mean, he's on Movie Talk, and he's somebody that doesn't actively go see a lot of movies, but he knows what to do with movie news.
Ken just doesn't let you know that he doesn't see movies. Like, it's like when you listen to him talk.
Tell.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about the same thing.
So anyway, all of this is actually getting to the fact that me and you 100% agree with Macuga's take on Westworld, and I would have loved.
I loved it.
I would have loved for him to have that moment. I've heard it before on TV Talk where he just rants about it. I've heard it a couple times actually, but I wish he was able to get in on that because I think no one else agreed with him, or at least Roxy didn't.
Well, what's funny about that is for some reason, I have no idea why this happened. On Pre-Schmoe, I went on a brief rant about Westworld.
Yeah.
I have no idea why it resurfaced on the show itself, but yes.
Maybe it's because all of those Wahlberg DirecTV commercials. Westworld is in the consciousness again.
Of course I agree with Macuga. I thought Macuga's take on it was great, just that it's not good.
What did you think of the callers?
Callers did great this week. Really good.
Except for the really awkward one.
You couldn't hear?
No, well, that one, one that Copster said he sounds like a transformer. When that guy was cutting in and out. No, the one that says that he could concur with Roxy every night.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that means. I mean, I know.
He was concurring that she was beautiful, and then he said he does that every night. And I think that implies that he's
I feel like that's not what he meant.
I think it is. At least that's how they took it, because Roxy was just like, okay, why don't you try this again? Yeah, that's just, I feel horrible when that happens.
Horrible?
The second, to quote Christian Harloff, that movie's horrible. I just feel so bad that whenever like Roxy comes in and she's on the table, and the very first thing that she hears when someone calls in is like, "Oh, hey, Roxy." Like,
yeah, tip to callers.
I feel really bad when that happens.
Tip to callers. I know it's exciting to get through because it's legitimately next to impossible.
I
don't linger. Don't linger on the phone too long.
I don't see how it's exciting. I never want to call into the show.
Is this some sort of like reverse psychology so that Christian's like, cops are
no, I don't.
Snelling on the
I don't
line
want
right
anything
now.
to do with it. I don't want him to say another word about it, and I won't say another word about it either.
Okay. So how jealous would you be if I called in one day? And they were like, you know what, Jay? Fly on down here. Come on down.
I'll
be like, what about Ryan? And they'll be like, who's that?
I would quit After Schmoe.
We know. Well, we don't know. I know.
I would quit.
I know. So if I win this bet,
also notice,
if I win this
Ken put your name in front of mine when talking about After Schmoe. What the hell is that about?
It's alphabetical.
I am technically OG SK Plus.
Yes.
Aside from Top 10 and what Roka and Nos did, and I think there have been a couple other shows on SK Plus. But what SK Plus is now, I'm OG SK Plus. Yeah, he put your name in front of mine.
Well,
what the hell is that about?
Again, it's alphabetical.
No.
It's also, yeah, it is.
I mean, it is, but that's not.
It's also, I also have one syllable. Your name has two syllables. Just rolls off the tongue better.
I don't know that it does. Also, you have the same amount of letters as I do, yet it's one less syllable.
Yeah.
Get that E off there.
Yeah, I always say Ryan and Jay just because I sound conceited if I say
I gotta tell you
my
something
name
off
first.
air that has to do with your name, but I can't say it on air because it's time sensitive.
Time sensitive?
Yeah.
Like the story itself?
Yeah, I'll have to explain it after.
Okay.
And everyone that's listening can freak out and figure out what we're going to talk about. But anyway, you're the one with all the notes. I want Kevin Marks. I want to support Kevin Marks's take on the fact that you carry everything that's going on here, because I'm about out of notes. Because the rest of the show was mainly discussion based. It was mainly game based. I was so frustrated that no one got Four Brothers during the game.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh my god, I was screaming at my TV. Other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the dynamic of the show. I think people were able to flourish because of Christian and Mark not being there. I really enjoyed having I want Roxy to keep coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
She kills it.
I also think that the number of people, look, that's always going to be a thing that I think is startling for people diving in for the first time, is just how many people are on the show. I actually think they sort of got the number right as well. We talked about how...
so now you want to get rid of the couch.
No, I think we're 100% right in saying that all of these people together, they know each other, they felt comfortable. But I also do think that it did have to do with just the sheer number of people. And yeah, I thought it was good. Even it was funny. Even I found Cobster to be even a little bit more chatty on this show, because sometimes he just sort of sits back and he'll chime in every now and then. But he seemed as part of the conversation, as much a part of the conversation as anybody else sitting at the main table, and I enjoy that. I like that.
Beardo didn't have a lot to say tonight either.
Well, I know he's over there riding high on his "Don't Be a Beardo" fame.
Are you overhearing about that?
Here's what I want. I want him to keep doing the show because it's great.
It is great.
But I wonder how long they're going to let it just be a thing where he's just not involved in the show, because it is kind of funny that he has one of the most successful podcasts on the channel, but he doesn't say a damn thing on the show ever.
He's probably going to say less after this Schmoedown reveal.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're winding down here.
Is that a thing? Is that who people think it's going to be?
I'm talking about the fact that Christian just found out that he doesn't pay attention to the Schmoedown.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that little mystery thing they did at the end of the show. Like there's some mystery person.
No.
What if it's Beardo?
No, but I got pissed because that Ricky guy, he just gets under my skin. I can't stand him. So I hated that tease was about him. So
Okay.
I hope someone that I love doesn't join up with him. That's for sure. If you want my take on the Schmoe, that's that. Okay. What else you got before we get out of here?
Let me look through my notes. What did we talk about? Westworld sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything else. You're gonna talk about? Oh, let's talk about this last game. Not the last game. Second to last game.
The game.
Schmoes Choice.
Oh, Schmoes Choice. Okay.
Have you seen Rushmore?
No.
Have you seen Shop Girl?
No.
I think Ken and I and Macuga, I think we're going to be really good friends.
Okay.
I appreciated that discussion quite a bit.
Have you seen Clue?
No.
Have you seen Casablanca?
Yes. One of my favorite movies of all time. I own it.
Really?
Yes.
Have you seen Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
Dirty Dancing
Doesn't hold up.
is fucking great.
It's a good movie. I'm joking. I don't know if it holds up or not. I haven't
That
seen
was
it in a
just those three
Oh.
movies. That's just the preview. What's to come on the movie bucket list.
while. Another
episodes.
reason why Ken and I are going to be great friends. Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes, I love Rebecca Ferguson too. I don't know if me and Ken are going to be best friends. He'll probably be annoyed with me after he meets me.
Another reason why Ken and I are going
I'm
to be
just
best
gonna
friends.
walk up. I'm just gonna walk right up to Ken and say Rebecca Ferguson and shake his hand. That'll be my entry point.
Another reason why Ken and I are going to be best friends. Did you get a new haircut? I think you got a new haircut. I think it looks pretty good. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WhatUpSnell. Sight and Sound, the YouTube channel.
Never heard of it.
We broke 400 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
I thought you were going to say we broke 400 plays on SK Plus.
I think we actually did.
We did twice.
Even though the episode was late.
Congratulations, guys.
That was totally my fault. But we thank you. We did cross 400 subscribers, so we're on the road to 500, and we're pretty stoked. I think there's going to be some other exciting things coming down the pipeline. We'll talk more about it as it unfolds, and be on the lookout for the movie bucket list episodes. Hold your horses, Ellis. I will put out your episode eventually, and that's
Where
all I
are
got.
shirts? We haven't worn our shirts once.
I sent a care package to LA, thanking those guys, and I got a notification that the package was tracked that was delivered to the office on June 2nd. And like on June 18th, I asked Ellis, dude, have you gotten your shirts? Because if you haven't, then I have to take it up with the postal service. He goes, oh yeah, I forgot. They're in my car.
So yeah, where are our shirts, guys?
Sightsoundpod.com.
Sightsoundpod.com to get those shirts that we sent to them in July.
What? All right.
In July, we're going to be putting up another limited shirt, so make sure you check that out. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sight and Sound. Search for it.
I did that already.
Okay, that's cool. But guess what? We just dropped an after party episode that features a fan of Collider and the Schmoes that we didn't know existed in the state that we live in. And it was really
interesting.
cool.
It was cool.
It was really, really neat. So go check that out. You can find me at Jaye Williams, J to the A to the Y to the E on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same for both. You can also find my music show, Sight and Sound Music, every single Friday, wherever podcasts are found. Do you have anything else?
Right now, you can go to meundies.com.
We already did that earlier.
After.
Modal.
I want to beat everyone. I want our fans to use the coupon code AFTER at meundies.com. Get 20% off. Take advantage of the Celebrate patterned underwear. They also got like shirts and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, definitely check out meundies.com/after for your 20% off and free shipping. meundies.com/after.
Modal.